Hello, how are you guys? I'm trying to pull up my notes. I'm fine, I guess. Just wanted to do, I don't know, here's the truth. I keep feeling like I should do a solo episode, a little update, mostly for like that small pocket of people who are out there for the grief content, but struggle with feeling like nobody actually wants me to. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what my brain says. And I haven't really felt like, and that's the thing is that I don't, I still don't feel like doing it. I just, it's like a nag, like I should. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do it, but we'll see. Um, yeah, so let's think. The last update I would have given you, I don't think I had gone to grief group yet. So I'll just start with where I was like a few weeks ago, where I had last month on my period, which I'm on my period again. Had an insanely hard week, like a very, very, very hard week. N- Hard in that grief is like a weighted vest and it's pretty heavy. So let's say your normal activities, like nothing's great, nothing's horrible, but just your normal life, you're walking around a little heavier. Some people a lot heavier. I just feel like I've got really good tools. But okay, so that week was very heavy, but then also just like hormone shifts added more weight. And it made it hard to just like trudge through life. And everything felt like a gut punch. Every time I would think about Jake or see a picture of him or see his old martial arts studio post a video or a friend of his turn 19, any of that stuff happened that week and it was just, I cried so much that week. I don't care about crying, but I'm just telling you that that's what that week looked like. Then the very next week, I felt this weird disconnect where it was like Jake existed before in an alternate reality and I lost him in an alternate reality. It's the best way to describe it. That may have been where I was the last time I did a solo episode. So, it's the only way I can really describe it is that there was just like this wall between me and the grief. I could still feel the weight somewhat, but like overall, it was really disconnected. That lasted for probably 2 weeks, which was nice because I could think about him and smile. Like everything was pleasant around him. Like I feel weird even telling you all this, but this is just my experience. But like I would think about him and I would just remember him fondly, and then that was that. I could be in his room and have fond feelings. And it's not that when I'm in his room I don't have fond feelings, but it can evoke really strong emotions. Um, like I go in there to feel him and to say hi to his stuff and whatever. But sometimes I go in there because I'm just having a really hard time and want to feel close to him. So I don't know. It was just really weird. So I'd go into his room and I'd be like, hi, Jakey. And then, you know, breathe in his room and then leave. Like it was just really fucking airy. Like it just didn't feel as heavy. It was crazy. And then about a week later, the next week, that lasted about 2 weeks, and then the next week, could feel again. There wasn't a numbness, there wasn't a disconnect, but it wasn't like any heavier either. At least for most of the week, yeah. I'm getting my weeks mixed up. Yeah. So it was good because I could feel again, but then also, it's a double-edged sword sometimes. And towards the end of that week, I really started dreading the fact that his birthday was coming up. Like just more and more stuff was reminding me that his birthday was coming up. It's on the 7th. And so I was feeling heavier and heavier by the day. By the end of that week, just was not feeling good. So I made myself, because something happened that Friday. What was it? I left the house for a couple of different things that Friday and that Saturday. And I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I remember feeling good. And so I wanted to just like continue that momentum. So I did. And then that Saturday, whenever I got back from whatever I had done, I was like, you know what, Brian, let's go decorate Jake's grave. So we did. And I guess that's what we had done that Saturday is we went to support our friend's food truck. So I felt really good. And then when we got back, I decided we'd go decorate the grave. So we did. I loved it. It made me so happy. I cry pretty hard when I'm at the grave, but it's not because like I think he's there. It's his picture that's there. I don't know. It just gets me. But I mean, it felt good and I was happy to be there. And I was just in a really good mood and sent pictures to people and posted it on social media and then came up with a really solid plan finally for what we would do for his birthday celebration, which I guess I'll tell you guys. Um, in a minute. But so then I started communicating with his friends and with family and whatever to make those plans. I was just in a really good mood. And I was like, man, now I'm actually looking forward to his birthday because like I have a solid plan and everything's good. Um, and then some money stress hit. And the thing about that weight that you're carrying around with grief is then if any other weight gets added, it's like that weight is exponentially heavier with that weight of grief. And so money stress just really gets to me and I'm working through it, doing what I can for that, but it is what it is. And then I received a text from someone who had visited his grave saying nothing's on his grave. And I was like, what? And so I was worried that it had gotten stolen, but she said, oh, well, I did see a sign saying that they clear at the beginning of every month. I don't know how I missed that sign. And I'm just hoping that's what happened. Um, but I couldn't get a clear answer about the graves that were around him that I knew had a bunch of stuff on it whenever I was there visiting him. So anyway, uh, I've been sad about that, but also still excited for his birthday and planning to take more stuff Saturday. I'm wanting to go get like wood and paint a mushroom on it and drill a stake into it and put that there. I'm not an artist, but I feel like I could do that. Um, so the plan for his birthday is that we are going to go to our friend's food truck. It was Jake. They're our friends now, but it was Jake's second family and he just always felt so safe and loved with them, and I always felt like I could trust them and that he was safe when he was with them. And so they opened a really fucking good food truck here local, and so we're gonna get Jake was very, very, very excited and proud of her when she would talk about opening this food truck. And so I felt that the best way to honor him for his birthday would be to um that be our family dinner because um we've always done a family dinner for birthdays. And I forgot I don't even need these glasses because I'm not looking at anyone else. So yeah, we are gonna do that and we're gonna pick that up and then go to the cemetery and we're gonna eat at one of the pavilions there at the cemetery. And then at the time he was born, we're gonna sing happy birthday because that was a tradition that we had when the boys were little. As they got older and school routines and whatever, it got a little more difficult. So um I would at least always try to text them at the time they were born, but uh I've not done great at keeping up with that. But I thought whenever searching for meaning and how I could honor him and my own needs to connect with him for his birthday, that felt really good to me. So, and then a friend was like, one of his friends was like, can I bring anything else? Ice cream, whatever. And I was like, well, I was going to pick up a cookie cake or a brookie because that's like his favorite dessert. If you want to grab one of those, that's cool. So like the plans have built and it's exciting and it makes me feel good. Knowing that we have a solid plan. Yeah. So I'm really happy about that. I have had 2 sessions of the grief group and, if you have if you follow Unquiet Soul, the other podcast, I have talked about the experience on there, but this week was our second time to go. And I just really like it. I like to kind of like be in a room with people just talking. Like we get to just talk, I mean, not just talk, like it's very structured and each week has like a set theme or whatever. And I just really like it. I kinda had to, like, adjust my expectations, even though it's weird, like, saying it that way even because I kinda knew what to expect, but I didn't expect to like just being out of the house and being in a room with people who get it, like, you know? But whenever I first started, I had to kinda be like, "What?" You know? But it's just because I think ego and fighting not to be, like, the expert in the room and, like, just being there as a participant and not being the expert is weird, but good practice. So I really like it. And I'm feeling little, like, quasi friendships form, so that's fun. Yeah, I like it. Let me think, what else? Still just learning a lot about, the things I and others do to confirm those subconscious narratives to make our outer world match our inner world. And I feel like I uncover more of that every single day. It's wild. And and also I think just in general, I know I've said this before, but grief for me exclusively, I will say, has really, especially I think because I had spent the last like year and a half prior to this working very hard on, getting new tools and, all the things that I've done I'll say heal. Um, I think that for me specifically, the biggest thing that grief has shown up is like it just shines a light on the shit that was already there. So I will say that like in my visibility wound and just the whole like idea of people not showing up for me or whatever, which has just, been a lie I've told myself my whole life. Like I really have just decided like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Uh it's unfair to expect everyone else to reach out first. Hold on. Like if that's how we're gonna define people showing up for you beyond that 2-week mark, sure, no one's gonna show up for you. And I notice this a lot in the grief spaces about like that, you learn who your real friends are when you're in the dark and, all that kind of stuff. Listen, it's fair. It's fair, it's fair, it's fair, and I get it. But if I want to transcend all of those narratives that I've carried for all this time and do grief differently this time, then I have to really examine my role in that. And I just think it's not fair to expect other people to reach out first. So I've just been working on doing the reaching out. Okay. I haven't actually. In my head, I've shifted the perspective at least and think to myself, I will reach out. Not doing a great job. So then how the fuck am I gonna hold other people to this standard of you're supposed to reach out if you care about me, and then I don't even reach out? Anyway, so that's been funny, kinda. Um, but I have been like if I'm thinking about someone a lot, trying to like reach out and be like, how are you? Just checking in. Because I'm really not looking for like a specific type of support. I'm just looking for connection and feeling like I'm connected with other people. So Bryson yelling at Danny the dog. So I'm not sure what's going on. I've been so fucking distracted since he got home, and he of course got home 5 seconds after I started this recording. So I'm struggling. Anyway, so I am just looking for connection and normal everyday conversations. Um, ooh, this feels weird to say, but like without a lot of expectation from me. Um, 'Cause this is the thing, is that I am finding, like, managing some conversations is very hard for me. Administrative tasks, like letting someone know a podcast is gonna be released, like their episode, not doing great. Um, Actually, this week I've started a new routine where I, like, start working almost immediately in the morning, and so I'm getting more done. I've got a list. I'm back, like, I'm getting my structure together. So that's going good, but, um other people having shit going on in their lives right now, I'm not being a great support for them, um, because I'm stressed and I'm grieving. So I think that's fair, and I also think it's fair if other people can't be there for me because they're stressed, they're grieving, they're whatever, right? So I think just allowing myself compassion to, like, "Oop, can't handle that right now," and putting the phone down and not coming back to it until I can also allows me to go, "Other people are going through the same shit." Like, it doesn't mean it how I'm showing up for other people has nothing to do with how I feel about them. I just can't handle it right now. Like, some things are just too much. Um or at least, like, I'm not, like, as quick to be like, "Oh my gosh, da, da, da." I pretty much always come back to the conversation, or I say, "Today's a really bad day for me, I'm sorry." But so that's something I'm kinda working through. Like I said, getting more organized really is helpful, so that's good. Yeah, and I think it's funny because here's a little astrology lesson. This eclipse was in Virgo in my 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo, which Virgo is very meticulous and organized and da, 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 da. And it really is about, like, structures, routines, shedding the routines that aren't working for you. Also not overworking, which mama would not do, and don't let me play. I was sleeping a lot, so I'm trying not to sleep as much. And so I'm getting up in the mornings and doing more shit and just trying to add more structure to my day. And I feel already like that's making a huge difference. And that, like, once I put all of it together, because I kind of started this like maybe 3 or 4 days before the eclipse, and I was like, oh, you know what? This is what I need to do. And then I realized what was happening, and I was like, God, astrology is so literal. So that was funny. But yeah, so I've been working really hard at that. And I think that my agitation with conversations is happening so that I could see why that happens in me and understand the same exact shit is happening with other people. I'm a great friend and I love people wholly, like, so much. Um, and so I believe that they feel that way too, and they just have their own shit. So, trying to be there for people as much as I can, which is at a limited capacity right now, and that is fine. And it is also fine if people can only be there for me at a limited capacity. It doesn't say shit about how either of us feels about one another. And I will say, this is something that was talked about by a lot of us in grief group. Um, while I don't, um, w- I don't know how to phrase this. Like, when other people say things that are just like totally missing the mark when you're grieving, I don't use that as a reason to push them away the way I did when it was my dad dying or died. But like, a guy in the group was talking about how fucking bad it hurts him. Actually, I don't know if that was the words he used, but that was what I got from what he was saying. Is how bad it hurts him when people say certain things. Um, and I realized that some of my hesitation to reach out to people is because, I mean, I am very tender. I am raw still. And it's very hard to, I was going to say get people to understand, but for lack of a better phrase, I'll say that. But I feel like I'm trying to communicate that, like, yeah, I'm carrying this grief very well. And I am proud of myself. I'm not comparing myself to anyone else other than my former self who for a 15-year-old girl with limited whatever, I've carried all of my grief well, but I wouldn't say in a way that felt good or was productive or helped me be a better person. Not a better person, grow and evolve as a human. I'm a great person. But like what I've noticed in my evaluation of myself after he said that stuff in group the other night was that I am kind of, or at least this is the way I visualize myself, like very contracted and bracing and like, oh, words hurt, please. Just treading lightly around conversations because it doesn't take much to hurt me. Um, and so what I've learned from that though, and what I would like to educate others on is again, it's my responsibility to create the safety and to stand up tall and get out of that contracted, bracing position and go, people are going to say shit. And it's gonna penetrate me because I'm very available to my emotions and my heart is wide open for everything. And that means hurt too. So people are going to say stuff. And I don't have to like be so afraid of that. Again, this is like an area where fear is really kind of taking control in my social interactions because I'm afraid. Like I'm no longer going to anger the way I did back in the day, but I am afraid of being hurt by other people's words. And I mean, it does happen a lot. I mean, you would be very surprised, but only I think because I'm carrying the grief well, it feels like people just don't fucking get that it's awful. Like it's a, like it's awful for Bryson, it's awful for me, it's awful for me to watch Bryson grieve. Like it's hard. It's hard to grieve. It's hard to carry it in a way that honors my worth and value as a human. So, um, I think my focus on only doing things that lights me up, is the key because doing anything I dread just is too much. It adds too much weight and I can't move. That's the best way to describe it. So it adds too much weight. I can't move. Like if somebody were to throw a 120-pound weight vest on you, you couldn't move, right? So that's kind of how that works for me. And I'm just not even gonna try because whenever I do things that light me up, weight is lifted and I just feel airier and. So, yeah, I think again, I'll just circle back to what I was saying is that, I am remembering that I'm safe for people to say things and for it to hurt me and then for me to kind of just hand it back to the universe or whatever and be like, okay, that's not mine to carry. Like I dealt with the hurt, I felt it, and then I say, okay, well, I know what they meant. And I think that it's the like it's statements around like yeah, like I said this in group, like because I'm really spiritual and I believe Jake's still with us. That's like, well, it's not really a loss then because he's still with you or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's a fucking loss. It's a fucking loss. And it was tragic. Like it's hard some days whenever the weight's really heavy, it's hard not to think about how it happened and you know, the hours following and the days and I'm the one who fucking notified everyone. So I think a lot about or it's not like I dwell on it, but like it pops up in my brain a lot. Those phone calls. So yeah. Uh just understanding that I'm the one in control of how I respond to anything in this environment and kind of breathing a sigh of relief like hey and you survived and you moved on. Like yeah, people are going to say things because if you don't get it you don't get it and that's okay. I'm grateful to the people who don't get it. So yeah, just kind of working on that. Again, I just think grief highlights the wounding that you already had and just makes it more visible, and certainly seeing that in Bryson, and certainly seeing that in myself. But I think overall, um, I am not looking as forward to his birthday as I was, but I am looking forward to it. A little nervous because it's going to rain a lot the day before. Um, and so I'm a little nervous about what that's gonna be like being out there. But it's not supposed to rain that day. It is supposed to be cloudy, so that kinda sucks. But I'm a little nervous about how that will go with putting things on his grave and stuff like that, so have to deal with that. But, gonna just try to go into that with, like, an open heart and, uh expectations of an energy that I wanna feel and not necessarily how it will look. And I think I'll probably, I don't know, say a few words or something. Who knows? Anyway, so that's that. Yeah. So hope you guys are doing well. I appreciate if you're watching or listening or whatever. I appreciate that a lot because I don't know, I really am struggling with like people don't want me to talk about this stuff. So, you know, I'm putting it out for the people who are searching for content on child loss later and come across this. And I hope that if you are someone in grief, that it helps you. And it does help me to talk about it. So thank you for listening. And yeah, just love you guys. And I'm grateful for this life, and I'm learning. Um, Truly how to transcend even the stress is like just get into that fucking grateful ass energy. And I am grateful. I'm super grateful for the people that I love, for the opportunity to do what I love. Got a new client, starts tomorrow, so yeah, I'm excited, and I just know good things are ahead for me and for you. So thank you for being here. Thanks for coming to Emotionally Unavailable. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share.